Welcome into the show. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for hanging out here with us. Coming up, Adam Schefter, ESPN NFL Insider, chiming in with another update on the Brandon Aiyuk front with Niners training camp 8 days away. And with that being said, we're really going to start to ramp up our coverage right here on the Niners Report, the largest independently run Niners channel right here on YouTube, so you don't want to miss our coverage. So hit that sub button right now to be a part of the faithful family here at Chat Sports. We appreciate your support. To set the tone here with what's going down on the Aiyuk front on this Monday, July 15, 2024, Niners rookies actually report to the SAP Performance Center in Santa Clara tomorrow on July 16th. And then veterans are going to report a week later on July 23rd. So next Tuesday is when Niners training camp gets underway. And for Brandon Aiyuk, seeking a contract extension because he's entering the expiring year of his deal. 1 year, $14.1 million left as part of that fifth-year option. And keep in mind that there is some time to get a deal done. The Niners historically like to wait until later in the summer to sign their homegrown players to contract extensions. And will Brandon Aiyuk be next? This is now the fifth consecutive offseason in which we have been waiting for a Niners player who has been drafted and developed by the organization, who's at the end of his rookie contract, to land a deal. George Kittle got us started August 13th, 2020. That's when he signed his deal, which made him the highest paid tight end in the history of the NFL at the time. Next offseason, Fred Warner got his contract extension a little bit earlier. The former third-round pick out of BYU signed his deal on July 21st of 2021. That, at the time, made him the highest-paid off-ball linebacker in the sport. And then right after that, Shaq Leonard overtook him. Deebo Samuel got top 10 wide receiver money on the final day of July in 2022. And for Nick Bosa, he became the highest-paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL with guaranteed money and average annual value when he signed his deal on the Wednesday before the season opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers last September. Because there was so much money at play, a deal did not get done until just before the season began. Here's what Schefter said today on the Pat McAfee show. The 49ers have wanted Aiyuk back. They've intended to bring him back, but the wide receiver market has shifted, which makes it tough. So it's harder to do a deal now than it was a couple of months ago. And we've talked about that storyline so much here on the Niners Report. The wide receiver market during the 2024 offseason has exploded multiple times. And Aiyuk himself has said that the Niners could have signed him to a deal cheaper than what the going rate is right now if they offered that contract earlier in the offseason. But because there have been a handful of wide receivers who have gotten fat bags, that in turn, with the Niners waiting, has caused Aiyuk's price tag to increase. Just this offseason alone, when you look at the top 10 highest paid wide receivers per year, there's a bunch of players on this list who have gotten contracts this offseason. It includes Nico Collins at $24.25, Devontae Smith, $25 million per season, Jalen Waddle, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, and Justin Jefferson. So of the 10 highest paid wide receivers per year, 6 of those contracts have been inked this offseason. So when a player like Nico Collins gets $24.25, Aiyuk has been the much more dynamic and productive and accomplished wide receiver. So Aiyuk can say, well, if he gets $24.25 and Devontae Smith gets $25, I'm a number 1. Devontae Smith is a number 2. I'm better than both of those players. I should get at least $26.27. Then Jalen Waddle gets $28.25. Aiyuk says, well, hold on. He's a number 2 as well. I'm a number 1, and I'm the more complete wide receiver compared to Jalen Waddle. That increases my price tag. When Justin Jefferson gets $35 million per year, Aiyuk can say, well, hold on. I don't get the opportunities that Justin Jefferson gets, and I might not be that level of a player, but I'm still elite. I'm a second-team All-Pro. I should be able to get 30. And the Niners in the process are saying, we have our price tag, and we're not moving off of that. as part of this entire conversation, it's not just average annual value that is the sticking point here. It's going to be guaranteed money. Look at who's at number 10. Deebo Samuel, $58.1 million. Aiyuk has been better than Deebo, more productive the last couple of years. He's also younger, and he's the better traditional boundary outside wide receiver. So Aiyuk undoubtedly is going to ask for more than $60 million to overtake Deebo in guaranteed cash flow and average annual cost per season. So it's going to cost a pretty penny for Aiyuk to get locked up. He's not going to get $110 million in guaranteed money like Justin Jefferson, but is he going to ask for something in the neighborhood of Amon-Ra St. Brown with guaranteed money between 70 and 80 and average annual value 28 to 30? I think that's where both sides are at right now, where the Niners want to give Aiyuk 26 because it's more than Deebo in AAV as well as guaranteed money, but the Niners aren't willing to go up to 30 because since the Christian McCaffrey trade, they're 32nd in pass rate. So there's really no sense in paying a wide receiver $30 million per year when you're a run-heavy offense. $26 million for a dynamic wide receiver in Brandon Aiyuk makes a lot of sense, but for Aiyuk, that number is way too low. More from Schefter on Aiyuk. Brandon Aiyuk thinks that he deserves what all of these wide receivers are getting. But the 49ers have a certain price point. The other thing to keep in mind, the franchise tag is a weapon for the Niners, which is not what the franchise tag was designed to be. Which now brings us to the leverage game. The Niners can have Aiyuk play out the final year of his contract, fifth-year option, and then franchise tag him. And that would give him the average of the top 5 highest paid wide receivers in the game. You're making really good coin at that rate, but you don't get that long-term financial stability and flexibility if you're the player. So if Aiyuk waits and waits and waits to get a bag at the price that he wants and is demanding, that's probably why it's taken so long, because the Niners probably have an offer on the table, $26 million per year, good guaranteed cash flow, and that's good. And the Niners could have signed him to that early. But Aiyuk saying, well, let's just wait. Let's put pressure on the organization. We can threaten them with the holdout, and then maybe their offer is on the uptick. But what if that deal doesn't happen? And Aiyuk says, I got to play on an expiring deal, and then I have to think about the reality that I'm going to get franchise tagged? That's a lot of money. $14 million this year. Next year, let's call it about $25 million. It's a lot of money over the span of 2 years, but it's not the guaranteed money or maybe even the average annual value that Aiyuk could get if he were to hit the open market, if he were to get traded to a team and they pay him, or if the Niners give him what he is seeking. If you don't think Aiyuk is an elite wide receiver, I have news for you. He is, and it is worthwhile to have this conversation that what he's asking for is probably the going rate for his services, and if the Niners were to let him go, he'd probably get that money elsewhere. I think that he should take 28. I would take 28 if I was Aiyuk because I can still win. I can continue my relationship with Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan on the field. I know I'm going to still put up elite production, and I'm going to be happy because I'm winning games. I don't want to go somewhere to a bad organization with a shitty head coach, bad general manager, bad roster, no foundation, no stability, and make $30 million, but lose week in and week out and be miserable. Are you watching receiver? You see how miserable Davante Adams is? Making coin, playing with Jimmy Garoppolo, making money, being coached at the time by Josh McDaniels, making a lot of money, but playing for a loser organization where they couldn't get the offense right? Davante Adams throwing his helmet down, saying, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this. I'm getting hit the hardest that I've ever gotten hit in my life. You think Davante Adams would like to be back in Green Bay playing with Jordan Love right now, even if he's making a little bit less money? Quality of life is really important, ladies and gentlemen. I love it here at Chat Sports. I don't want to leave. Even if another company paid me a lot more money than what I'm making right now, I'd still want to stay here because I love who I work for, who I work with, the platform that I have, being able to chop it up with all of you. Most importantly, I'm happy with the job and where I live. And what if that company offered me more money, yet I wasn't happy there and I didn't like the job? That means that I'd be miserable every single day? I'm not about that life. I've been there. I've done that. That's why I left local television. That's why I'm no longer a news reporter. Because the negativity that I had to go through every single day made me unhappy. It made me miserable. I didn't want to go to work every single day, and that's a dark place to be in. So if I'm Brandon Aiyuk, I'm looking at the San Francisco 49ers and I'm saying, I put up elite production with Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan is one of the best offensive minds in football. We still have an elite roster. We are still Super Bowl contenders. As far as my marketability and my brand, I'm playing for one of the most iconic logos and organizations in all of sports that has a great fan base that spans worldwide, that has 5 Super Bowl championships, and I'm going to be able to get paid. We're going to be able to compete. We're going to be able to win, and I'm still going to be able to make life-changing money as far as average annual value and guaranteed money. Now, as far as that conversation of Aiyuk being elite wideout, impressive numbers here. Aiyuk led all wide receivers with a first down or a touchdown on 58.1% of his targets last year. Yet, the Niners, since the Christian McCaffrey trade, throw the ball at the lowest rate among all teams in the NFL. So he's doing more with less. Furthermore, on the analytical numbers here, it didn't matter what defense the Niners were going up against, Aiyuk found success. 78.7% success rate against man, 96th percentile. 85.4% success rate against zone, 91st percentile. 83.6% success rate against press, 97th percentile. That is all per reception perception. That means that Aiyuk truly elite regardless of the coverage that he was going up against. And how about his route tree? Brandon Aiyuk literally found success running any route on the football field. This is all green. I don't see yellow. I don't see red. 9 route, corner, out, comeback, flat, other, screen, slant, curl, dig, post, cha-ching. And then this is his route percentage, meaning the routes that he ran. I think that Kyle Shanahan should devise more routes for Brandon Aiyuk. Get him the football a little bit more. If you don't want to pay a wide receiver $30 million because you run it too often, pass it more. You got to conserve and save Christian McCaffrey anyway. He's a running back with a lot of wear and tear. He's getting older, and you just signed him to a contract extension. So run Aiyuk on the corner, the out, the comeback, the dig, and the slant. Those are all strengths. But put him in the flat more. Throw a screen pass to him from time to time. Give him a curl. Give him a post. Give him a 9. Let's see him go deep. As Brock Purdy had the #1 completion rate on deep balls. It really is incredible how elite Aiyuk's been able to be despite having such few targets, but he's making the most of those opportunities. And nothing really tells you that he's elite more than what he's able to do with fewer opportunities. Imagine you go into your job. You're able to just excel with fewer reps. It's not always easy to do. Sometimes you got to find that groove, baby. You know what I'm saying? What's your level of confidence that a deal gets done? I don't know what that dance was. Scale it for me from 1 to 100. Appreciate everybody for watching. Join the conversation down in the comments section. I will catch you tomorrow live on the Niners Report.